Welcome to Talking Heads. I'm Andy Shaughnessy with the Printed Circuit Engineering Association. With me this afternoon is David Schild from PCBAA. How are you, David?
Good to be here, Andy. Thank you so much.
Good to meet you. We've run a lot of your stuff. I don't think I ever met you in person.
Well, we appreciate the opportunity to be here. Really a great show today.
It was mobbed when it first started. It was just a lot of people. But anyway, David is the executive director of PCBAA. And I understand you've got quite a lot of stuff going on. You've got an event coming up in D.C. Just tell us about what you guys been up to.
Well, we appreciate the opportunity to be here at PCB East. I think this is the fourth time that we've been at this show. Mm-hmm. This is the 5-year anniversary for the Printed Circuit Board Association of America. We were founded in 2021, and as we come up here on 5 years, we've gone from 5 founding members to close to 90 today. Many of those folks are here as a part of this show. And of course, we're talking to other companies about the benefits of our educate, advocate, and legislate mission in Washington, D.C.
Good. Well, you gotta go there to hold their feet to the fire.
Absolutely.
That they will say that they're on it, but after Election Day, they kind of forget, right?
Well, it's our job to remind them about the importance of industrial policy and the role the printed circuit boards play in this broader microelectronics ecosystem.
Right.
And of course, in so many of these critical supply chains that make modern life possible.
Right. So tell me about the DC event. What's on the schedule for that?
Absolutely. So June 16th through the 18th is the PCBAA annual meeting. That's our gathering of senior executives, government leaders, policymakers, and it's really kind of a unique gathering in Washington. Rather than a trade show or an opportunity, for folks to sort of gather and exchange business cards, this is really a meeting of industry leadership in the same room as senior government officials, in the same room as senior academics. And of course, we meet and discuss the issues that are affecting the industry, but we also go directly to Capitol Hill to lobby on the issues that are of greatest concern to PCB executives.
Right. Are you getting the idea that they're taking the industry less? It seems like they took it for granted. And especially, I guess the whole thing with supply chain, realizing that we can't keep getting parts from other countries that we may need for challenges in the future, is sort of made them realize, hey, we need to invest in our own domestic fabricators, and especially like the advanced semiconductor stuff and all that. I mean,
what I've seen in the last 5 to 10 years, right, is a shift towards real strategic industrial policy. Of course, that started with semiconductors, and there was a significant investment through the Chips and Sciences Act.
Right.
Recently, you've seen a focus on critical minerals, on raw materials. Well, what's missing from that technology stack? Of course, it's printed circuit boards and advanced substrates. And so what we need now are the same sorts of industrial policy measures out of Washington that we saw for companies like TSMC and Intel, and now we're seeing in the raw and refined materials space. We need that same sort of action. And of course, Andy, my own view, and the view of PCBAA, was that we're not leaning on industrial policy. We're playing catch up with many countries around the world that for decades have been subsidizing specific technology sectors because they want to have a lot of market share. They want to have ownership of those technology sectors. That's led to a real contraction of our domestic manufacturing capacity.
Right. Well, I mean, like half the companies in China that were competing with our guys, they're all SOEs. They're all state-owned enterprises or partially owned or whatever the deal is. But it's like, here it's every man for himself because, but it does seem like they're starting to pay attention, at least, even if they're, sometimes I think it's lip service. But by events like this, you get to go there and say, hey, are you serious about it? Come meet with us. Right?
It's a unique opportunity, and no storytelling is more effective than that of somebody who runs an actual product line, an actual manufacturing facility, to go in and say, look, I'm part of the community in your congressional district. I've got a pretty significant role in the national security ecosystem. I'm doing research and development. This is a great program for not just jobs, but careers in manufacturing. All of that, from the lips of our members to the ears of our congressional representatives, that's a pretty valuable day.
Right. Well, that's good. And that's been something that was missing,
I would agree, yes.
So what's after that? Where do you...
Well, it's a great question, right? So we believe that this year there's going to be significant action in terms of money within the budget. Of course, we're watching the defense budget specifically because that's where funds to be invested in the PCB ecosystem have been in the past. So as the budget process moves forward, we're going to be at the table making sure congressional leaders know, hey, the Pentagon should invest in national security supply chains. We've got a bill, the PCBs, or Protecting Circuit Boards and Substrates Act. I need to get as many congressional sponsors as possible on that bill. That's in the House, and I'm fully expecting a Senate companion will also be introduced this year. And then, of course, we're meeting with agencies like the Department of Commerce, the Department of Transportation, the Department of Energy, to talk about the role that they have in reshoring and restoring PCB manufacturing. So it's going to be a very busy year in Washington, but that's why people join the PCBAA, to get that representation. Right.
Well, and you guys, like I said, you have what, quintupled or more than quintupled your membership. I remember when you all launched this. We all kind of went, why haven't we had something like that before? You know, you need to have, you need to be represented in DC, and you know, there were a few people sort of representing the industry there, but you definitely need to have somebody there keeping their feet to the fire.
There's an old phrase in Washington D.C. that if you're not at the table, then you are on the menu.
You're on the menu.
And I think
That's right.
Finally, we've got some representation in Washington. We're speaking with one unified voice. And again, we have a very narrow focus on education, advocacy, and legislative and policy outcomes. That's all we do at the PCBAA. And so if you're looking to have that kind of representation in Washington, because you're building product, you're shipping, you're innovating out in the rest of the country, I think this is a great model. Become part of this team, and we'll do that work on your behalf.
Right. Well, very good. You're very enthusiastic about it. They need an enthusiastic leader.
You know what? I'm really inspired by the fact that this is a technology sector that we can reshore, that we can restore.
Right.
It's the men and women who are building the product who make this an easy story to tell. I mean, we see them all. It shows like PCB East, of course, but PCBs make modern life possible. I don't think before I took this job, that's something I really understood. And it's my job as part of a big team to tell that story in Washington.
And the industry, everybody, we interviewed this kid in college right now, and he was looking for somebody to help build something. And one of these fabricators said, I'll build that for you. I'll do it for free, you know. And he said, I can't believe people are so nice. I'm like, most of the industry, they're very helpful people.
Absolutely.
When you see a need that needs to be fulfilled, you know. So, well, good stuff, man.
Yeah, I appreciate the chance to talk to you. And again, a great show, here in Worcester.
Yeah, I'm glad to see you. And I'm glad to be back at East. So
It's absolutely another good show.
Well, I'll talk to you again. I know.
I look forward to it. Thank you.
Okay. So again, I'm Andy Shaughnessy for Talking Heads. Thanks for watching.